the man from down under with a little thunder, WWE and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke. I hear something else comes from down under too. The Wrestling with Figs podcast with my mates Chris and James. You gotta tune into this great podcast because Chris and James will give you all the inside info. Whoa! Yay!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestling with Figs podcast. I am your host, Chris Maddock, joined with James Thomas, who is our Eastern States correspondent. How are you, James?
I'm very well, mate. How are you, Chris?
Fantastic. Back to normal now. COVID's finished. I don't think I'll be coughing tonight. I've got a pretty strong plan not to cough. And just back into the swing of things, I just said to you before we started, one thing that sucks with COVID is you have a week off work and you go back to work and you've got a week's work to catch up on. So very busy at the moment. It's carnival season at school.
Fantastic.
So get kids ready for their sports carnivals. And over here, it's been bloody raining for the last 2 weeks.
I thought it never rained over in WA.
It never rained. This is the first time ever. So
wow.
It actually snowed in our regional parts of WA today. So
wow,
14 degree maximum. Like, what is the world? Global warming. That's what's happening right now because this is not normal for WA.
Wow. Well, mate, I've just returned after 5 days of eating, drinking, sleeping on a lounge with 4 of my mates, and I've got a sore back. I'm a little bit hungover. I'm a little bit deprived of nutrition, but I'm glad to be home, back with my family, and doing this great podcast with you, mate.
Oh, that's very nice, mate. And now I was going to go down a really dark path there when you said you were hanging out with your mates and you had a sore back, but I'll just leave that one go. We'll leave Brokeback Mountain for another day.
Righto.
Mate, figure news, before we even get started, the group's been heaving this week. Lots of great posts, and well done to those people who are trying to get some conversations started with the members. This one, though, I saw on a different site. It really hit me right in the feels. I think it was Steve Campbell who posted about the old video stores. How much does that take you back to the 80s? So the old VHS tapes with the writing on the side, the things you think about now that our generation, our kids from our generation now will never have a clue about these sort of things.
Yeah. Even the brand Kodak, that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, and also things like getting in trouble for taping over something.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember getting completely bollocked by my mum for taping over some crappy movie like Ghost. I think it was Ghost. And I taped over it with some sort of footy game or something. And she goes, you taped over Ghost. I was like, this is, now you think about it, you're like, Netflix, I'll just stream whatever I want. And it's pretty crazy to think how the world has changed in just 30 years.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's a lot has changed and a lot has evolved, and but I do miss the good old days, Chris. And I guess which is why why we collect and why we talk about the good old days, don't we?
Oh, I love it, mate. That's why we're here. It's just the best time ever to go back and reminisce.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, what about there's a couple of things I just want to discuss, but RIP Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, sad.
Very sad. She look, I wasn't I'm a fan of hers, but I don't follow her religiously, but I know all the females in my family just adore her, and it's a bit of a somber night in my household tonight because she was idolized by all the females in my family, and she just seemed like a beautiful, beautiful woman inside and out.
I didn't know this, but Olivia Newton-John actually came to stardom by singing at Eurovision. So she sang for the UK because she was born in the UK and she moved to Australia when she was 6. And when she sung at Eurovision, she came 4th. And I heard the song in the car this afternoon driving home, and the song was terrible, but like for the time it would have been quite popular. And who do you reckon was the winner of Eurovision that year?
I have no idea. What year was it?
74.
Oh, I got no idea. Who?
ABBA.
Oh, there you go.
So
Wow.
not a bad person to knock you off, or a group ABBA to knock you off for the win.
Yeah.
But that's how she got her start as a real push to superstardom. And I
Yeah.
agree. I'm again not a huge fan, but as in terms of an icon to our country and the arts, I think it's very sad. The other thing that's whether you like Grease or not, the movie is absolutely iconic. And when someone famous like this dies, then you go back and watch that movie, it just gives you this feeling of pride and sort of understated emotion that you think, geez, that's pretty amazing. This person was so talented.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Ric Flair, mate. Speaking of talented, Ric Flair, no, he didn't die, but he wrestled his last match.
He did, and a bloodbath. From what I hear, it was a bit of blood all over Ric Flair, and I don't know the exact stats, but I saw somewhere today, actually on Facebook, that there was X amount of ticket sales on the night, there was X amount of pay-per-view on the night, there was X amount of live streams on the night, so it was quite a successful match for him, of course.
You see, my favourite thing about the whole thing was watching the Undertaker and Mankind just sitting in the crowd, sitting next to each other, hanging out.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a bit of a mind mess for fans, like especially little kids. I know that they're probably not watching Hell in a Cell these days because they'd be little kids watching Roman Reigns, greatest wrestler of all time. But just to see them together and they're just in their casual clothes, you're like, that would never have happened in the past. They'd still be in kayfabe.
Absolutely. Well, mate, it's been a little slow after after the amazing Comic-Con. I think we're going to clutch at straws of what figures to talk through. But how about we get into it, mate? Community news.
Well, do we want to make our announcement first?
We'll go do that in community news.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll run the stinger and then we'll go from there.
Let's go.
News.
Well, it's a little bit of a sad day today, Chris. Our good friends at Go Figure Collectibles, we are parting ways, and no, not because it's what's the word I'm looking for?
They didn't dump us. They didn't break up with us. We're still in love.
Absolutely, but I will say, having a really long conversation with Jeff. It's in his best interest and the business best interest. Thanks to COVID, COVID has really, not only Jeff's, but a lot of businesses have really suffered. And Jeff, obviously, and Go Figure Collectibles being one of them. So just for the time being, Jeff needs to focus on cutting costs wherever he can, whenever and wherever he can. And unfortunately, Wrestling with Figs podcast is one of those cost cuts. So we have been pushed to the side. But completely understandable. And, I'd really like to take this moment to thank Jeff for his belief in us. As Chris said, we're not breaking up. It's just more of he needs to do what he needs to do to survive the next couple of years. And we completely understand that. But, I'm greatly appreciative of Jeff's support over the last 12 months. He's been nothing short of amazing. He's been supportive. Behind the scenes and on the scenes, we've given his business a very good plug, and he has said that a lot of listeners have gone to his store via either in house or online. So we thank you all for supporting Go Figure Collectibles. A bit of a sad day.
Well, look, it's not that we are no longer going to support Jeff. It's just he's no longer going to pay us. So we're still going to promote Go Figure. I really wish, though, that you guys had have sort of talked to me about this more, because it's bringing back a lot of deep trauma from my childhood when my dad left me. And, now you're really, really affecting my self-esteem here and my well-being. So shout out to my dad if you're watching. Look, hopefully I'll see you soon. I haven't seen you since you went for that pack of cigarettes. So,
I don't know if you're joking or not.
Well, kind of I am, but there's a little bit of truth in there. So no, we're very grateful for Jeff and the whole team at Go Figure in some pretty crappy times to be able to help us with our running costs. And like, even though this is not a major podcast, this is probably, we should call ourselves the minor wrestling figure podcast. That would be a good name. We still, there's costs of the website, there's costs of the streaming service, there's costs of the Sizz Dog when we got him to do the music, lots of other costs. So, without that help, we probably wouldn't have got it started. So we really do thank you, Jeff. And we'll just move forward now. So if you're a collectible business out there and you're listening, or if you're somebody in the on the street who thinks maybe these two idiots can give us some promotion and we can work together on how that looks, make sure you give us a call. Call James first, and then he'll tell me what the terms are.
Yeah. So if you want to join forces, we have a bit of fun with this, and we're happy to, I know we've made Jeff some money. Hopefully we can make you guys some money too, and have a little bit of fun along the way. But send me a DM, reach out to us, and we can take the conversation from there.
There was
but as always,
47,000 downloads of our last episode. So
there you go.
That could be a little bit of a mistake. I just didn't quite add up the numbers that well, but approximately 47,000. And, that's, you could be reaching listeners all around the world.
Exactly. Actually, you know where our listeners are? This is fact, right? Obviously, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and the US. That's in order too.
That's good.
So not bad.
Do you know, I've had people from the USA message me and try to help with situations. I've had quite a few USA guys message me through my personal Facebook and say, "Oh, I heard you talking about your distribution issues. I know this person at Mattel. Do you want to talk to them?" And
really? Wow.
Yes, but if you remember back, you and I have already done this. We spoke to people at Mattel US, and then they said to us they would talk to Mattel Australia, and nothing ever changed.
Nothing happened.
And Mattel Australia never got in touch with us. So
hopeless.
But
hopeless.
We're on the track. We're on the right track. We're here for sustainable change in figure collecting.
Yeah. So for one last time, we're going to quickly give Go Figure Collectibles another shout out. So use code FDU5 to receive your 5% discount store wide, both online and in store. And that FDU5 code will remain. I guess that will remain for the interim. And if it does change, I will let you know. But on behalf of Chris, myself, and the entire community, thank you, Go Figure and Jeff, for your unwavering support over the last 12 months. And we completely understand where you're coming from, and absolutely no, what's the word? Help me with my words, Chris. I'm struggling with my words.
We have no animosity.
No animosity.
There is no ill feeling. It's just one of those things. So we both move forward. And I'm still going to hit up Go Figure when I go to Melbourne, which could be 100%. Sooner than later if the Dockers make the finals and they have to go to Melbourne. I've promised my son I'll take him over for the finals. So
excellent. That'll be good.
My wife will kill me, but that's all right.
All right. So as Chris just touched on, so if you're on the pop culture game, action figures, trading cards, memorabilia, whatever it may be, and you think that we could support your business, please reach out, and we'd love to have a chat with you and see if you would like to be a part of this growing podcast. What have we got?
Great comment from Steve Campbell. Mattel Australia should be the new sponsor to make up for all the shit they've put us through.
Yeah, good call.
Hopefully we don't hear that one from Mattel, otherwise they might not like that comment, Steve. But yeah, I agree.
Okay, Figs Down Under community. If you haven't joined us over on the Facebook group, the Figs Down Under Facebook group, come over and join us. It's a great group of guys and girls, very passionate about collecting, and a very supportive community. Pretty easy to join. 3 questions, and you are in like Flynn. Now, figure news, mate. I left this over to you. So hopefully you've done your homework and you can supply the listeners with some great news.
Well, it's going to be short and sharp tonight because you left it to me, and I didn't do a lot of work. We're going to look at 2 figure releases, plus we're going to look at the highlights of San Diego Comic-Con because it is a hangover. We got absolutely saturated with new figure releases. So I picked out my favourite 3, and there's a bit of a theme, but favourite 3 from the Comic-Con. But first, we saw the painted prototype of a Raven from Zombie Sailor. So let's have a look at that one, James. Now, surely that leather jacket can't come with the figure.
Yeah, it does.
That looks incredible.
It does. It does. But you know what? Like we said the other day, like that figure, the face, everything about that is amazing. I just don't like the arms stuck out like that. So I think the arms don't move. I get why he's done that. Yeah, I get why he's done that because that's his pose. But for posability, that's going to be a nightmare. But that is a great figure.
Speaking of Zombie Sailor, my USA contact has my 2 my Earl Hebner and Dino Bravo. So they're all right, but they're not shipped. I said to him to hold them because I've bought a few other things and I want to wait till he gets all of it together.
Yeah.
My Zombie Sailor toys that I ordered myself to Australia, I've got no notification. I've got nothing yet.
Okay.
So is that normal?
Well, I'm sure I've seen people in the group show that they've had their notifications.
Why haven't I got mine?
No.
And I don't want to message him and then piss him off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. There's a nice comment from somebody coming through. Dion Wade, hi from New Zealand, loving the group, lads. Welcome.
G'day, Dion.
We don't treat you differently because you're from New Zealand. We welcome you all. We've even got a New Zealand admin in Brett Amos. He's a little bit strange. Do you know Brett Amos is probably one of the most famous people in New Zealand?
Yeah. He's a lovely guy too, Brett.
He's very short, apparently.
He is. I was quite surprised. For those that don't know, I assumed Brett was his 6'3" floor dude in New Zealand that is just a great guy. He's all those things, but he's not 6'3". He's like 5'4".
Yeah.
So he's about the size of my 4-year-old, but that's okay. He's still a good guy.
And you know the other thing, just before we move on about Brett Amos, is his wife also listens to the podcast.
Yeah. Loves our show.
Hello, Mrs. Amos. Now, the NECA store, James, you gave me this image. They're showing some pretty big releases. What do you got there?
Yeah, so the Dungeons and Dragons, that's right up your alley, Chris. The Gremlins NECA line is quite superb if you're into that. Very, very detailed. The Thing, I remember that show. I remember that movie. My parents had that on VHS and I was never allowed to watch it. So I've got no idea what the movie's about. but I remember that. But underneath that, they actually, before I keep going, these are the NECA convention exclusive 2022 figures. Now that 4-piece box set, I'm a big fan of the NECA cartoon turtle line. I won't be getting this, but this is such a, if you're a completist, what a great box set. You've got Bebop, Rocksteady, Master Splinter, and Baxter Stockman pre-mutated look. So in their human form, which is pretty cool.
Very nice, mates. And now the highlights, the top 3 of San Diego Comic-Con. We'll go through them very quickly, then we'll move on because we saw them last week.
Yep.
Number 3 comes in as the Dingo Warrior for me.
Yep.
Dingo. What a great figure that's going to be. You can never have enough Ultimate Warrior figures. And I think that's just going to be an absolute ripper. Look forward to that one being released in about 2024. The next one, top number 2 for me, the Ultimate Edition Hulk Hogan with the white and red, the LJN tribute figure, even has the LJN belt. I think that's going to be very hot. I don't know yet. Somebody might be able to tell us. I have not seen these up for pre-order or anything anywhere. I don't know what looks like the slaughter they did last year.
Yeah.
But that was a Comic-Con exclusive. So what is this one?
That's going to be a 2-pack, right?
It's going to be a 2-pack, but where is it going to be released? Is it a Target exclusive? Is it what is it?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
So let's find that out. Somebody tell me, please. Number 1, I think if you watched last week, you'd know this. The Mega Powers, Hulk and Macho, although when I was putting this together tonight, I looked at Hulk's bandana or his headscarf thing. I don't know whether it looks quite right.
Yeah, gosh,
It looks like it's too big.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. You know, one of my favorite Hulk Hogan things was when he was wrestling and he'd rip his shirt off and somebody would beat him up and then choke him with his shirt.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed how many times that happens in a Hulk match where he rips his shirt off, he gets jumped from behind, and then the shirt gets turned into a choke hazard. So they were my top 3. Other than that, obviously because of the time we are in, a lot of figure releases last fortnight and then not many this fortnight, very normal. So very short fig news this week.
There is. Michael Jordan did not the Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan from our group. He did ask me a question online, and I'm just going to go quickly to see what he says. So he's got here, AEW figures are no longer being stocked in the UK, and rumor has it is that Australia are not getting AEW figures anymore. Could you confirm what is happening? And I just wanted to confirm with Michael, if you're listening, that I did reach out to a contact and no one has confirmed with me either. So, excuse me. So watch this space. So that's crap. If that's the case, I guess it's another, we've got distribution
problems. I can add a bit more to this story that somebody shared in our group not that long ago, an email from Jazzware saying, or from Banter, who were the importer, saying they would no longer be able to import the AEW figs.
Why?
I don't know. So I think they said in the email or the letter that it was demand. Demand had they couldn't fill the demand for the figures.
Okay.
So well, that sounds just like Mattel.
If that's true, okay. So let's pretend that that's true for a second. Then we've let ourselves down, right? Like I don't collect AEW, so
not our demand. The demand for the figures that is out, like the USA are wanting more, so they're going to give them to them instead of sending them here. They can't keep up with demand.
That's so it's not like we're not ordering enough, so they can't justify. No. That's rubbish. Come on. That is rubbish.
Matt DeMeo online has just added that Mattel Creations for the Hulk release. So that's going to be a fantastic, fun night for everyone waiting till 12:01 for the clock to strike, only to find out you couldn't get through the capture fast enough. So,
well, I know who I won't be asking to do that for me next time.
Oh, turn it up! You know who you should have asked is Matt DeMeo. Matt DeMeo got me one, so yeah.
I did, and he goes, "I'm already doing it for Chris." I was like, "Damn."
Well, we've got a deal. We've got a deal, and Matt as well. That deal goes forever now. We're locked in.
Ask me my top 3.
Top 3 from Comic-Con. What is it?
So number 1 would have to be the VHS box set of No Holds Barred. I thought that was fantastic.
Very cool.
Now I've just opened up my WrestleMania 6 Ultimate Warrior Ultimate Edition figure, and I don't rate it. And I think the reason why I don't rate it, mine doesn't stand up properly. Like one ankle joint's out of whack, and it's kind of like if he's standing like that, he's on an angle.
Yeah.
The face paint, the head with no face paint has got no face paint whatsoever. I know at the end of the match he hardly had any face paint, but he had face paint.
Down the sides. He still had it down the sides.
Yeah, he had like dots and stuff, right? Yeah. So, and then, I'm just not impressed with it. So I feel like my number 2 is probably the WrestleMania 7 Warrior that they just announced at Comic-Con. That may have to replace my WrestleMania 6.
The WrestleMania 7 one looks wicked, and I wonder if that's going to kill the value of the defining moments one.
100% it will. In my opinion, it will. I reckon it will. And then that Warrior will be number 2. Number 3 will be Warrior will be number 3. Number 2 will be the Bret Hart Ultimate Edition if they get it right.
Yeah,
if they get it right.
Look, that Bret Hart is going to be very hard to get as well, I reckon. All right, that wraps up community news. Are we playing the advert?
Yes. One last time.
The Wrestling with Figs podcast is proudly supported by Go Figure Collectibles.
I can't believe this.
Go Figure Collectibles have been established for over 20 years and have an extensive range of wrestling figures, DVDs, and merchandise. Go Figure Collectibles offers a huge variety of pop culture items such as Funko Pops, statues, TV, movie, and video game memorabilia, and so much more.
The fact for you, mate.
For all the Wrestling with Figs podcast listeners and Figs Down Under community members, use code FDU5 to save 5% off your next purchase store-wide.
You're gonna be joking me!
5%, yeah.
Visit them online at gofigurecollectibles.com.au, or if you're in the Melbourne area, go check out the store on 104 Bakers Road, Coburg, North Victoria, and say g'day to Jeff and the team.
G'day, mates.
Support local and support Go Figure Collectibles, who continue to do great things for the collecting community down under.
And go.
Dude, I went down to the shops to pick up some fruit and veg. I couldn't help myself. Went down to the toy aisle. You never believe what I got. What you get? What you get? I got some figs. What you get? What you get? Found some figs.
And I just realised, James, that on our last time plugging Go Figure, that I've played the other stinger too early. We've missed the product placement. What is your product of the week, James?
My Go Figure product of the week were the Diamond Select Cobra Kai from the San Diego Comic-Con. These were exclusive announcements. Now, these look wicked, and these are on their website now up for pre-order. So, amazing, amazing product. I must admit, though, I haven't watched the latest series that is out by Cobra Kai, but I've lost interest. It just seemed to get
Cobra Kai will never die, James.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost interest. I think Stranger Things just took over, and that's just consumed my my viewing.
Yeah, we didn't watch Cobra Kai in this household. I don't think it could pass with the wife. But I was going to ask you, just speaking of Stranger Things, going back to the NECA picture, Dungeons and Dragons figures. Do you reckon they've become more collectible or sought after because of Stranger Things?
Well, you'd think so, but Dungeons and Dragons have been around since well before we were kids, right? So it must just be.
So it's Kate Bush, mate. Kate Bush has been around then, but now she's number one again. Like,
there's obviously a like Star Wars, right? So you had your OGs, and then it just keeps, rejuvenating.
Hey, let's move on to Merch Purge. I had a great week in the card world. So people know I like my Australian sports cards, particularly AFL. Brilliance came out over on the Leachy Man's page. He must have got about 50 boxes of Brilliance because he's been flogging them off a lot. I only was able to get 2, and I got my 2 hits here. The Zach Bailey number 5 of 50 and the Sam Walsh 32 of 50. Now, the Zach Bailey was a pretty good card. Sold it pretty quick, so I'm not a Brisbane collector. Sam Walshy, though, that's a big hit. That's a big boy because Carlton collectors absolutely love him. He's the heir apparent to their team. And It's on eBay now if you want to buy it. You can put a bid on. I think it's currently at $599, but you can bid higher than that. It's funny. I didn't realize on eBay, if you put a auction price and a buy it now price, as soon as you get a bid, it gets rid of your buy it now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because you can't do that anymore. Anyway, so that was my 2 hits, and then hopefully I can buy a couple of the Dockers cards. I've already got a couple of them on the way. But then I had a delivery from Select Australia, which was the Virtuoso dual signature cards of Caleb Sarong and David Mundy, numbered to 40. So very, very cool cards. Cost me an absolute fortune to get the redemption for that, but it was worth it. They're beautiful signatures, and they'll stay in my collection for a long time. These are from the Prestige release, so that's the second release of the season. And then, James, I told you earlier, I like a break. I like a raffle. I like a bit of a competition. I actually had the biggest hit in a break I've ever had in my life in a card break. I paid $28 for a spot in a 1-box Brilliance break. So what's that? 28 times 17, because they merged Giants and Gold Coast. 30 times 17, that's about $550 for the box. these are the boxes that were selling for $150 on release, and now people are getting $550 out of a break. They did a random draw for teams. I got North Melbourne, which is not the best, but it's not the worst. All of a sudden, they open the box, and there is this beautiful Wayne Carey, Dennis Pagan dual signature premiership card for North Melbourne, 25 out of 50. And currently, there's only one on eBay for $2,500, but that's way overpriced. I would say that's a $1,000 card for $28 investment. Very happy with that. Gamble responsibly if you're gambling at home, because that's probably the first time in 3 years I've actually hit anything in the breaks.
Well, congratulations, mate. Good win.
Thank you.
Good win. Now, I'm a living, breathing example of why our hashtag, the hunt never end, really exists. Because you know what I've got the bug for now?
Barbie.
Old school trading cards that I used to collect as a kid. So I've got a set of 1990 WWF Classics, a set of 1990 WWF Classics Series 2. I've recently just picked up a set of the 1989 Topps Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trading cards. And I've just picked up a set of 1989 Batman Series 1 trading cards. Do you remember having them as a kid?
I had the classics, but I had mainly footy and basketball.
Yeah, I mainly had rugby league, but I'm not gonna get rugby league. I'm not gonna worry about that. And basketball cards, I'm just gonna get graded. Do you know what I mean? Like a basketball card, where you can't just collect a full set. But I have decided I want to get the Series 2 cartoon cards. I want to get the Series 1 movie card. Series 1 movie cards of Turtles. And what else is there? But that's about it. But they look awesome. Other than that, that's it from me, mate, because my package from coming back from UKG was meant to come today, and it hasn't. And I'm a bit concerned because on their tracking, it's saying it's still in transit. And then on my Australia Post tracking, it's saying it's on the way. It's arrived at facility in the United Kingdom. So is it here or is it over there? So usually they're pretty spot on. You know, when it says it's getting there on the 8th, it'll get there on the 8th. So I don't know
that's not good at all.
What's happened there. So I'll have to follow that up.
Little do you know, I had it rerouted to my house.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, members merch perch. You've picked out the old Hulk Hogan NWO.
I did, from Rob Vella. I thought this figure looked pretty spot on and pretty cool. Hogan's just getting an abundance of figures of late, but that's a pretty special one. Ringside exclusive.
With that figure, I've got one on the way, but the problem with the one that I've got on the way is that I don't have it yet, which is a pain in the ass. I don't know how it works with Eastern State shipping. I ordered that on release, and mine is still saying like in Singapore, whereas everybody else seems to have been already getting them. So it's very, very annoying. Now, I'm going to hold up my picture because I couldn't, for some reason, get it to load on the screen.
Okay.
This is Patrick Aranda. Can you see that? He already has the Comic-Con exclusive. Wow. So well done, Patrick. If you bought that on eBay at extortion prices, at least you got it first. Well done, Patrick. Yeah. There are some pros to getting them that way because at least you got them really quick. And one thing that worries me for collectors is seeing the cancellation of the Hulk Ultimates. A lot of people getting cancellation emails this week around the world saying they're not going to get them. And while we're on the topic of Ultimates, well done, Nick Johnson and others who keep sharing the Amazon links for people to get in. Seems that Amazon are dropping the Goldberg fan takeover figure and others in the middle of the night US time, probably to stop the scalpers. And if you see them up, share them on the page. I think it's really good.
Yeah,
now,
awesome.
Should we wrap up merch perch?
Yep, that's it from me.
What's online?
That's right.
Did you see what was online? What's online? Some bloke selling some LJN figures on eBay. What's he asking? He's asking too much. Well, did you make an offer? Make an offer. You can't make an offer. It's an auction. Well, just slide into his DMs. Maybe he wants to let them go for less. Maybe he's just trying to whet your appetite. Well, I don't know. We'll just make an offer. I can't make an offer. It's an auction. We'll just slide right in to the DMs. What else is online? Oh, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff online.
Now, before we start what's online, I want to show you this. If you're an Aussie and you love basketball, this has to be the best jersey you can get for this season. How good is the green and gold Jazz jersey for Joe Ingles?
Yeah, but you know he's not playing for Jazz this year, right?
No, it doesn't matter. These are on clearance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. How much?
So, about $40.
Oh, what?
So I saw this pop up on my feed. I'm hoping that is a genuine site. It wasn't really an NBA site. It could be a knockoff site, but It said $40 for a Joe Ingles green and gold Jazz jersey. I just think that's really cool.
Well, while we're on jerseys, I found this post on Facebook the other day, and it was in the Australian NBA fans group, and they shared a post called the store's called Emporium Melbourne. Have you heard of that?
No.
You have?
No.
I'll share it in a group. The store looks freaking amazing. Like it's America style.
Yeah.
And it's got a whole range. It's an NBA store. So massive, like wall to wall of floor to ceiling of hats, jerseys. The shop front looks immaculate. It's amazing. And it's
we've got one here at Carousel in the eastern suburbs called Stateside Sports. And they've got some really good stuff, but they're not huge. It's a smaller store. And we've got Hoops Heaven in the city, which is a fantastic basketball store too. Sell all trading cards at Hoops Heaven as well.
So it says here, Australia's first home of NBA has arrived at Emporium Basketball. Basketball fans can now personalise your own merchandise with on-site exclusive customization services and enjoy interactive experiences with NBA 2K booths and player height match.
That's cool.
With the widest assortment of NBA and WNBA team and league branded merchandise from unique jerseys to the original snapbacks. For all those sports fans out there, the wait is over. It's game season.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Right, it looks...
Check it out. They have online shopping?
Oh, you'd assume so. But that's... I don't know if you can see that, but that's the storefront.
Wicked. That looks awesome.
It's like American style. Hey, that's the jerseys. And
very cool.
And that's the hats.
Oh, wow. Somebody's put a bit of time into that.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll start with what's online now. I was trolling through eBay, back into my One Love Hasbro's, having a look. What's in Australia for people? Now, I thought this one, Hacksaw Jim Duggan with his flag, $115. I reckon that's not a bad price.
Yeah,
that flag,
I sold mine for more. So
yeah, that flag is a pain in the ass to find, that flag. So, and that looks in good condition. Good hacksaw. It looks good condition with the paint. If you're a completist and you're looking for it, I reckon that's a very good price. Then, speaking of prices and not so good prices, this intergalactic space bunny account was the same one selling the mail-away bagged figures, a Taker and a Bret Hart for ages at ridiculous prices. An 85 AFA graded Virgil, 1,745. I think that's a little bit high for Virgil. But speaking of Virgil, he announced this week that he's had sex with 1 million women.
Oh, really?
How many of you had, James? About 2. No, just like Virgil's got you by 999,000.
Yeah.
I did the math. I was thinking, well, how old do you reckon Virgil is? About 65?
No, I would have said he's younger. I would have said 55.
No, he's got to be older than that. Oh, let's just say 60. So if he started his relations at 15, right? So he started having intercourse with women at 15. This is going somewhere. And that means he's had 45 years of being able to have fun. So you divide 1 million by 45, and that means he's been having sex with 22,000 women a year.
Yeah, I think Virgil's full of shit, just quietly.
I think you might be exaggerating, Virgil. 22,000, mate. And if you have been having sex with 22,000 women a year, you might want to see a doctor.
Well, that's why you're sick, Virgil.
James goes bang. Hey, this is my final one, my third one. Probably a little bit overpriced, this one, but what I like about it is original Hasbro ring, comes with some figures. Nail's not an easy figure to find in Australia, and the original box. The box is pretty rough, but a really cool piece. The one thing that grabbed me with this piece, though, was not the lot of figures or the ring. It was the price tag on the side.
Yeah,
check it out. Target $19.99, $20 for that ring. That would have been in the 90s, early 90s.
A lot of money back then.
That's. I reckon that's the equivalent of $100 today.
Yeah, probably.
That's what it feels like. So I got that ring for my birthday or Christmas in about 92, I reckon, 91, 92. And it was probably the best value for money of anything I ever got.
Yeah, I got mine for my 11th birthday, which was 1991. So
yeah,
I got that, Akeem, Andre the Giant, and Rick Rude.
I got the ring. I already had $1 Million Man and Jake the Snake because they were my brothers that he'd already given up. And I got Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior with the ring. And then Hulk 1 and Warrior 1. And then in a family trip to Kalgoorlie, the gold rush town of Western Australia, my parents gave me some money to spend. I ended up buying 5 more figures.
Wow.
I know I got Snooker, Brutus 1. Who else did I get? Snooker, Brutus 1.
So they're the ones you need. They're the ones you need in mint on card in their Perspex box. Nice on display.
I also got Hacksaw, got the accessories were a big deal for me. If I saw Hacksaw with a 2x4, I'd want that more than wanting to get somebody without one. I got a Macho King. Got a Macho King at the same time. So yeah, very cool.
Perfect. There you go.
Good one. And your online, mate.
Yes. So I got. What did I get? I got. Okay, so I'm a bit obsessed with graded cards these days, but you would have recalled last episode I picked up a Hulk Hogan flip card. Yeah, and I found online the Ultimate Warrior flip card, PSA 9 graded, which is bloody high. But unfortunately, they're asking $1,500 US or near offer. So I would jump at that, but it's worth nowhere near that. And I paid a fraction of that for my Hogan. You know, it's only graded 8, but still, these cards aren't bloody. You know, they should never be worth anything more than a couple $100. But that's absurd money.
If they're worth a couple of $100, you can have them for half of that.
Oh, but that I remember having that Warrior as a kid. Great one. Next one, I just thought this was pretty cool, and these look really nice. Perspex up and graded by PSA, and it's a Mike Tyson pop sign. Went
the wrong
one. A Mike Tyson signed pop, PSA authenticated. Looks beautiful in its Perspex box, and I think that they're a good a good shelf item. But that's online. Cool. That's online now for $5.99 US or near offer, and I think that's okay. I think that's
all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what Mike Tyson would say if he saw that?
What?
They got my face wrong.
Mike Tyson, if you're listening, I'll send you Chris's address after the show.
Have you seen the clip of Mike Tyson on the aeroplane when the guy just keeps baiting him and he bells him?
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with Mike Tyson. He's a nutcase.
But that guy, that idiot, like seriously, you know, we've all had a little bit too much to drink in our time, right?
Yeah.
But you know when to pull the reins in, and you know when to go, you know what? I'm biting off a little bit more than I can chew. And he's on a plane pestering the most vicious man, or once was the most vicious man in the world. So, you idiot.
You bit someone's ear off. You don't piss off someone who bit someone's ear off.
No. Or who was heavyweight champ of the world.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Okay, last but not least, because it was Ric Flair's moment of retirement this week, I think that this may be his rookie card. I can't confirm nor deny, but this is a 1982 Shah Japan wrestler's rookie card, PSA 5. Now, I would assume it probably is his rookie card, but it's online now for $12,000 Australian or near offer. So that's graded PSA.
$12,000.
Yeah. So
You'd have to really like Ric Flair for $12,000.
well, from an investment standpoint, I can see how,
I reckon
if
you pay
you got,
$12,000 and you could get the real Ric Flair to come to your house.
but I reckon that there's a good investment. Not at 12 grand, I agree, but I think if you got that for 5 grand, I think that's a good investment. Really good, because God forbid he's not far off going to a better place.
That's the second controversial thing you've said tonight.
What's the first?
The first one was telling Virgil that's why he got sick.
Oh, well, mate, you stick your prong in a million things, you're going to end up catching something. My goodness.
You're still not on the boys' weekend anymore, James. The boys' weekend's over, mate. You're back in the real world.
Fair enough. Oh, that's it from me for what's online.
Oh, let's hit up with Fig Review.
It's time to review a fig from today or the past. Which will it be? Stay tuned to find out.
And we continue on our journey of the Turtles series that I don't know a lot about, but James seems to know a lot about it. So we're going to follow along, James. What would you like me to bring up first?
Yes, I do. So this, you learn as you go, Chris. I like to learn as you go. So last week we covered Series 2. Now this is an extension of Series 2 that was released later in 1989. And then what's weird about this is Series 2 also continues on into 1990, but we'll get onto that next episode. But this is a 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Playmates Wacky Action Series. Now, first up here, Chris has brought up the Sewer Swimming Donatello. So these figures had, a certain action. So you wound them up and that it would do its action. Then we had Rock and Roll. Who have you got there? Rock and Roll Michelangelo.
Mikey, yeah.
Now you had the wrist that twisted with the nunchucks or the pizza. Then we had Break Fight. We had the Mauser. Remember the Mausers back in the show?
Yeah, I remember the Mausers. Remember from the video game too.
Yes, little buggers. The shit thing about that Mauser, it was almost the same size, or was the same size as the figure.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we had Break Fight and Raphael. Now, who's missing out of that awesome foursome, Chris?
That'd be Leo, wouldn't it?
Yep. So I had Leonardo, and that's one of the figures that are in the next series. So I thought it was strange that they released 3 Turtles out of the 4, but also included a Mauser in that 4-set series.
Very, very unusual.
Very unusual.
Yeah.
What do you do? You roll with the punches.
Maybe there was a production issue.
Maybe. But for me, the most nostalgic from this series is by far the Mauser, because I remember seeing that in the store, and as I've talked about many times, my parents were very supportive of my collecting, but Mum just thought, I'm not buying you that rubbish. Like, you just get the Turtles and that's it. And she just would never buy me that. And now as an adult looking at it again, I can see why, because it does look very, very ordinary. But I do, it is very nostalgic.
Next to the figure, there's some stickers. What are the stickers for?
To be honest, I don't know. I would assume you had to put them all over the Mauser because it chewed through a lot of things. But look at the artwork on the top of the backing card. That is sensational.
Yeah.
Like nostalgia at its best.
Yeah, and I love the fact that figure walks, jaws automatically open and close, includes punch-out card of rats, turtles, and things. It's pretty cool.
Things,
yeah. It's like saying, and stuff.
It's stuff, yeah.
No, very cool, mate. I don't have a favourite. I'd probably go with the Mauser as well. I don't remember those at all.
You don't remember him at all?
No, not at all. Never seen them before.
Okay.
So I love the idea of the old turtle bath toy, though. You wind it up and you can swim in the bath.
Yeah, very good.
Very cool.
Very
All
good.
right, mate.
All
Figure
right.
review and preview. Let's hit up Q&A.
Let's
Actually,
go.
well, first, another word from. See, this is your thing. You usually don't do this. I'm out of routine. First, another word for the final time from our Go Figure Go sponsor. Oh, far out.
Oh.
Our sponsor, Go Figure, not our Go Figure sponsor.
Coming towards the ring,
Mattel, Jax, Hasbro, LJN, Remco, Super 7. Are you looking for a store that stacks all the latest and greatest wrestling figures? Then look no further, because Go Figure Collectibles has everything you're looking for. Jeff and the team at Go Figure Collectibles are always filling the shelves with the latest releases and buying up old cherished collections to fulfill any vintage collection needs. Visit them online at gofigurecollectibles.com.au, or if you're in the Melbourne area, go check out their store at 104 Bakers Road, Coburg, North Victoria, and introduce yourself to Jeff and the team. Plus, Wrestling with Figure podcast listeners can use the code FDU5 to save 5% off your next purchase store-wide. That's Go Figure Collectibles.
it's question time. It's question time. It's time to ask the boys a question. What's on your mind? Let us know and we will tell you the answer.
All right, Chris, you want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good news, right?
Well, we're going to ask each other a question, and we're going to have to make it up on the spot, because the bad news is we haven't got any questions sent in this week.
What is wrong with our members? What is wrong with them?
Well, how about-
Perryman, Steve Campbell, DeMayo, lift your game, boys.
Well,
Especially
those
Perryman.
that are listening right now, if you want to ask us a question, we can answer it for you. But I'm going to ask you a question, Chris.
Yeah.
What has been the best figure release, in your opinion, in the last 2 years
The
that
best.
you had to have in your collection?
So I'm going to tell you the best figure that I have in my collection in terms of quality figure, and I never realized how good it was until I had it, was the Stone Cold Steve Austin Ultimate Edition. That figure is incredibly well made. The hat, the shirt, like being a vintage collector, but then seeing Stone Cold, which really dragged me back into the love of wrestling in the 2000s. It is just such a good fig. I would say that's probably my number one. Geez, it's tough just to limit myself to one figure. But
Okay, give me your top three.
There's just so many, mate. Where do you go? I also really like the Elite 71 Big Show. I think that figure is a cracking figure. It's got the T-shirt on, the big title. Very hard to find now. It's selling, I think loose, it's selling for about $100. So very, very cool. And one more. Geez, you put me on the spot. Thanks for questions without notice. I would say, I'm looking. I've actually got a picture of my collection here. I'll bring up my picture of my collection. Let's have a look here. Let's see what I can see there. That'll help me out there.
Good.
Yeah, thank you, mate. It's just hard to limit to one, mate. I really like the Mean Gene Retro, so I'm going to add that to my third one. It's a more recent release. Junkyard Dog up the top there is pretty good as well. Storm Hogan. Oh, there's so many good figures, mate. How do you limit it to three? All right, question for you then, James.
Go for it.
Ric Flair. Somebody's just said Ric Flair with the Stone Cold is pretty good too. Completely agree. Matt DeMay is saying HBK Ultimate. I also agree that's a very cool figure. I'm going to say that the question for you, which is going to be a tough one for you, is if you were starting a new personal collection of figures for modern wrestlers, and when I say modern, because you collect only up to about 94, 95, let's say post 95, which 3 wrestlers would you want to collect?
Oh, I think that's pretty. So after 1995?
Well, they have to have started after 95.
Yeah.
You can't say, Hogan, because he's got figures from then.
No.
But-
Okay, got that. Oh, I'd have to say Stone Cold because I respect what he's done. And he was such a pretty dominating character in his time for a very long time. I'm gonna say, actually, you know what? One of the San Diego Comic-Con figure announcement was, who's the dude that comes out with a guitar and he
Elias.
rocks?
Oh,
No.
Rick Boogs.
Rick Boogs. I saw his figure and I was like, oh, awesome. If I was still collecting, figures of today, I would buy that for sure.
You know, he was so good at Mania, and then he did his knee in the match. I think he did his knee or his back, and now he's out for a year.
Oh, wow. Bummer. But scaling it back, I'm going to say Stone Cold. You'd have to say The Rock. I've got a bit of a man crush on The Rock.
Yeah.
I think he's
Rock,
pretty phenomenal. And Jeff Jarrett. I've never owned a Jeff Jarrett figure. Like, I know he started, around the 94, 95, but I've never had a Jeff Jarrett figure. And he went on for a lot longer after that. So,
You know what sucks about Jeff Jarrett?
What?
That you ordered those figures, didn't you? I didn't order them.
Yeah, I ordered them.
So my Jeff Jarrett's going to go to you, which means I have to wait for you to post it to me.
Yep.
So you get it first.
I get it
Where
first.
Where are your zombie sailors? Are they in transit?
Funny you ask. I'm going to look at that right now because I've got the tracking in my USPS tracking. So again, I feel like neither of my trackings are updating.
Now, there's something must be going on because if I go into mine,
so it says here, last update was July 24th. Processed through regional facility at Chicago, Illinois International Distribution Center. So surely it doesn't take, that long to fly from Chicago to Australia.
I've got mine for my ringside order, and it was. I got the email from ringside on the 23rd of July to say it had been shipped, and then I get an update that says Wednesday, 3rd of August, received from our sender in Sweden, which is where their distribution center is.
Yeah.
And then the next day, cleared and awaiting international departure from Singapore. And then nothing from the 4th of August. So the 4th of August is not that long ago. It's only 5 days. But come on, what's going on with the tracking? I reckon they're not even bothering to scan anymore.
Yeah. Well, let's hope not. Because it's some items I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. I care about all of them. But some of them I don't bother to check. But ones that I do, I need to make sure they arrive. That's why I'm shitting myself quietly about this UKG one. Usually when they say the 8th of August, it's here the 8th of August.
And were you away? Maybe if you were away, maybe your wife's already got it and put it somewhere where you won't know where it is.
Maybe. She's like, this bugger keeps spending money.
Yep, I would have done that. Bronze Cosmetics turn up. I just put them somewhere where she doesn't know where they are. You know what she does then? She orders more. She orders more.
Yeah.
Didn't get them.
Yeah, the plan worked, mate. All right, that will do us, Christopher. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. It's been fun as always, and again, big shout out to Go Figure. Thank you for your support for these last 12 months. We greatly appreciate Jeff and the team from Go Figure. If you dig this podcast and you want it to see it thrive, jump onto Apple, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us get the name out there. Support all of our social media accounts: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and always use the hashtag The Hunt Never Ends. I can attest to that. You know why, mate?
Never ends, mates. And
never ends.
If you're watching the footy this weekend, go Dockers for the Derby. Want to smash those Eagles?
Yes, go the Dockers. Who are the Dockers? I'm just kidding.
Cheers, mate. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Cheers.